Pat Fitzgerald, he addressed the media, and he played the Michigan State hits. It
Mm-hmm.
seemed like, we need to put Toughness on tape. We don't have a chip on our shoulder. We have bags of chips on our shoulder. What was the impression? Because it feels like after the last 4 years, we don't need someone to win the press conference, but for this fan base, it's kind of nice that he's winning the press conferences.
Yeah, I would say after the last, especially I've been on the beat since the start of the Jonathan Smith era, it's nice to have a press conference where you feel like you are winning that press conference because, Ryan, you can say it just as well as me, just going to those press conferences, those Monday morning press meetings, it's just a matter of didn't execute enough, didn't do enough, and you're not getting any of that toughness, you're not getting any of that rivalry, you're not getting really any emotion, any feeling. And I'm not going to say that that's the reason why Michigan State didn't have the most successful last 2 seasons, but that lack of energy at some point, you have to figure it will permeate a little through the building. That you got to be able to have that toughness and that mentality that Michigan State was built on. That chip on the shoulder, bag of chips on the shoulder, whatever you want to call it. Michigan State has to really have that mentality if they want to be successful. At least that's the blueprint that they've followed, and you either have to get back to that or find a new way. And with Mel Tucker and Johnson Smith, that really was not the case.
Yeah, it seems like, especially with football coaches and college football coaches, with trying to bring in recruits, you have to have that little bit of car salesmanship, like personality,
Sure.
just because you're trying to mass appeal to hundreds of different kids, different personality types. So you kind of have to be able to fit in, and it's a little bit refreshing after, especially the last 2 years, even the Mel Tucker era. Mel Tucker was kind of like covering Matt Patricia, where when Matt Patricia lost a game, his post game, he would just tuck the microphone under his chin so you couldn't hear him as well. And then you just get hit with let's keep chopping.
Yeah.
So it's nice that Pat Fitzgerald is here. Was there anything interesting, or maybe you weren't expecting Pat Fitzgerald to say during his media availability yesterday?
I wouldn't say I was necessarily surprised by anything he said. I mean, he went and attacked the main points that you want from Michigan State. He attacked that, if there's one opponent I want to beat bad, it's Michigan. And that's really one thing you have to have after I didn't understand the rivalry being the headline of choice after the Michigan State game where there was a fight on the field post game in 2024. So you have to have that. You got quite a few bits of information revealed, such as the jersey number 1 being will be in use, but it's going to be decided the day before media gets access on August 6th for the first practice. But overall, you didn't have I would say anything that surprised me, but you did hit the points and you won that press conference, which is what you needed to have.
Right. And you're the one who kind of broke some news while you're there yesterday that 3 Spartans from the spring roster are off the fall roster. Just go into depth who these players were. Were they necessarily any impact players? And if you have any info on the situations, why they're gone, what happened?
Yeah, so I just asked and was able to confirm that they are not on the roster, but there was no additional information given. Defensive back Dorian Davis, wide receiver Atticus Carradine, and 1 second, blanking. I should really know this considering I was the one who broke the news. Wide receiver, defensive back, and then
let's see. I have your Twitter up. I'll just scroll down just a little bit. I have to scroll through all the Kyle Whittingham quotes. We'll touch on him in a second. And while we look up the that third Spartan. Another Spartan kind of off of a roster transfer, and that's Chance Rucker.
Yes,
has departed from Arizona State, and Dorian Davis, Luke DeJager, and Atticus
Edge Luke DeJager. Yeah. So of those three, the only guy to see the field in game action during his time as a Spartan would be Dorian Davis. Davis played 7 snaps last year on defense during the Youngstown State game. played 5 games on special teams and got a letter in 2024. Overall, none of them are necessarily huge losses, and I, in a way, expected a little bit of departure from the spring roster just because you had so many bodies coming in. You added Jameel Gardner Jr., you added Aiden Bull from the portal. You have guys coming in, and you have to have some guys filter out. And even with the designated student athlete rule, there are other rules in place where you might have to see players potentially get cut off the roster. Once again, I don't know. I could not confirm if they were cut from the roster or if they voluntarily left the program. I believe that the thing on Chance Rucker with Arizona State is he was dismissed. I could be wrong there, but that is the information I have on the players is just that they are no longer with the program, and that is all that was said on them.
They say that's probably all the info we get, unless a player comes out and kind of voluntarily gives that information. And if they don't, it probably just means they were either cut or they just didn't like the fit through spring ball.
And I mean, of those guys, 2 of them, one of them the redshirt senior, one of them the redshirt junior, you have to figure they might have found an internship, they might have found a job or whatever and said, hey, you know, I have my career job in front of me. I've been on the practice squad for the last 2-3 years. I would rather focus on my career and furthering my own personal opportunities than having my body be sacrificed for the team every week. And you can't blame a guy for that because you have to do the best for yourself, whether it's in the professional field or on the athletic field.
Right. Understandably so.